마하트마 간디의 명언.
Mahatma Gandhi 1869–1948, leader of Indian independence movement. Mahatma Gandhi, a preeminent leader in India's fight for independence, employed nonviolent resistance, Satyagraha, against British colonial rule. His pivotal actions included the historic Salt March in 1930, challenging British salt taxes. Gandhi advocated for communal harmony, aiming to unify India's diverse religious communities. He staunchly fought against the oppressive caste system, championing the rights of Dalits. Gandhi promoted self-sufficiency through the Swadeshi movement, advocating for locally made goods. His influence extended globally, inspiring civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Nelson Mandela. Gandhi's legacy endures as a symbol of peace, nonviolence, and social justice. He is affectionately known as the "father of the nation" in India. Let's hear Mahatma Gandhi's famous quotes.
First, they ignore you. Then they laugh at you. Then they fight you. Then you win. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. It is better to be violent, if there is violence in our hearts, than to put on the cloak of nonviolence to cover impotence. Power is of two kinds. One is obtained by the fear of punishment and the other by acts of love. Power based on love is 1,000 times more effective and permanent than the one derived from fear of punishment. A nation's culture resides in the hearts and in the soul of its people. In a gentle way, you can shake the world. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. You must not lose faith in humanity.
Humanity is an ocean. If a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. It is health that is real wealth and not pieces of gold and silver. A small body of determined spirits fired by an unquenchable faith in their mission can alter the course of history. Where there is love, there is life. Freedom is never dear at any price. It is the breath of life. What would a man not pay for living? This sentence conveys Mahatma Gandhi's profound belief in the immense value of freedom. He emphasizes that freedom is invaluable, more important than anything one might have to sacrifice for it. Gandhi likens freedom to the very essence of life itself, suggesting that it is as essential as the air we breathe. He implies that people would be willing to pay any price, make any sacrifice, to attain and preserve their freedom, because it is fundamental to human existence and dignity. Satisfaction lies in the effort, not in the attainment. Full effort is full victory. An ounce of practice is worth more than tons of preaching. There is more to life than increasing its speed. Even if you are a minority of one, the truth is the truth. The greatness of a nation can be judged by the way its animals are treated. You can chain me. You can torture me. You can even destroy this body. But you will never imprison my mind. There is a higher court than courts of justice, and that is the court of conscience. It supersedes all other courts. An eye for an eye only ends up making the whole world blind. If I had no sense of humor, I would long ago have committed suicide. When I admire the wonders of a sunset or the beauty of the moon, my soul expands in the worship of the Creator. Action expresses priorities. Prayer is not asking. It is a longing of the soul. It is daily admission of one's weakness. It is better in prayer to have a heart without words than words without a heart.
Nobody can hurt me without my permission. A coward is incapable of exhibiting love. It is the prerogative of the brave. There is a sufficiency in the world for man's need but not for man's greed. Anger and intolerance are the enemies of correct understanding. In prayer, it is better to have a heart without words than words without a heart. Man becomes great exactly in the degree in which he works for the welfare of his fellow men. All compromise is based on give and take, but there can be no give and take on fundamentals. Any compromise on mere fundamentals is a surrender. For it is all give and no take. Man's nature is not essentially evil. Brute nature has been known to yield to the influence of love. You must never despair of human nature. The essence of all religions is one. Only their approaches are different. Truth never damages a cause that is just. My life is my message. Prayer is the key of the morning and the bolt of the evening.
It suggests that starting the day with prayer in the morning helps to unlock or open one's spiritual connection, while ending the day with prayer in the evening serves as a way to secure or strengthen that connection, similar to locking a door with a bolt to keep it safe. In essence, prayer is portrayed as both an opening and a securing practice for one's spiritual well-being.
A man is but the product of his thoughts. What he thinks he becomes. Freedom is not worth having if it does not connote freedom to err. Anger is the enemy of non-violence and pride is a monster that swallows it up. I object to violence because when it appears to do good, the good is only temporary, the evil it does is permanent. I suppose leadership at one time meant muscles, but today it means getting along with people. Self-respect knows no considerations. Non-cooperation with evil is as much a duty as is cooperation with good. The good man is the friend of all living things. As human beings, our greatness lies not so much in being able to remake the world. That is the myth of the atomic age, as in being able to remake ourselves.
It is the duty of every thoughtful Indian not to marry. In case he is helpless in regard to marriage, he should abstain from sexual intercourse with his wife.
This sentence is an interpretation of Mahatma Gandhi's views on marriage and sexual abstinence. It suggests that Gandhi believed it was the responsibility of every conscientious Indian not to marry if possible. If marriage was unavoidable, then a person should abstain from sexual intercourse with their spouse. Gandhi's perspective on celibacy and abstinence from sexual relations was rooted in his belief in self-control and simplicity as part of a spiritual and moral way of life.
Honest disagreement is often a good sign of progress. The spirit of democracy is not a mechanical thing to be adjusted by abolition of forms. It requires change of heart. The difference between what we do and what we are capable of doing would suffice to solve most of the world's problems. A man who was completely innocent offered himself as a sacrifice for the good of others, including his enemies, and became the ransom of the world. It was a perfect act. Whatever you do may seem insignificant to you, but it is most important that you do it. The moment there is suspicion about a person's motives, everything he does becomes tainted. A no uttered from the deepest conviction is better than a yes merely uttered to please, or worse, to avoid trouble. Jesus is ideal and wonderful, but you Christians, you are not like him. It is the quality of our work which will please God and not the quantity. We may stumble and fall but shall rise again. It should be enough if we did not run away from the battle. Those who say religion has nothing to do with politics do not know what religion is. Each one has to find his peace from within. And peace to be real must be unaffected by outside circumstances. Morality is the basis of things and truth is the substance of all morality. Truth is by nature self-evident. As soon as you remove the cobwebs of ignorance that surround it, it shines clear. There are people in the world so hungry that God cannot appear to them except in the form of bread. To believe in something, and not to live it, is dishonest. Gentleness, self-sacrifice and generosity are the exclusive possession of no one race or religion. When restraint and courtesy are added to strength, the latter becomes irresistible.
This sentence encapsulates Mahatma Gandhi's belief in the power of combining strength with qualities like restraint and courtesy. It suggests that when someone possesses both physical or moral strength and exercises it with self-control and politeness, their strength becomes even more compelling and influential. In other words, Gandhi advocated for a balanced approach, emphasizing that true strength is not just about raw force, but also about how it is tempered with self-discipline and consideration for others.
If patience is worth anything, it must endure to the end of time. And a living faith will last in the midst of the blackest storm. I have nothing new to teach the world. Truth and non-violence are as old as the hills. All I have done is to try experiments in both on as vast a scale as I could. Nearly everything you do is of no importance, but it is important that you do it. Before the throne of the Almighty, man will be judged not by his acts but by his intentions. For God alone reads our hearts. Glory lies in the attempt to reach one's goal and not in reaching it. It is unwise to be too sure of one's own wisdom. It is healthy to be reminded that the strongest might weaken and the wisest might err. In matters of conscience, the law of the majority has no place.
This sentence Mahatma Gandhi's belief in the primacy of individual conscience over the decisions made by a majority. It suggests that in matters of personal morality and ethics, the collective opinion or popular vote should not dictate what is right or wrong. Instead, one should rely on their own inner sense of what is just and true. Gandhi emphasized that individuals have a duty to act in accordance with their own deeply held convictions, even if it means going against prevailing public opinion or established laws. This idea reflects his commitment to principles of nonviolence and civil disobedience in the pursuit of justice.
My religion is based on truth and nonviolence. Truth is my God. Nonviolence is the means of realizing Him. We should meet abuse by forbearance. Human nature is so constituted that if we take absolutely no notice of anger or abuse, the person indulging in it will soon weary of it and stop. Those who know how to think need no teachers.
오늘도 행복한 하루 보내세요. 유튜브에서 파요영어 검색으로 다른 주제 동영상도 살펴주세요. 감사합니다.